developer in the SoluLab INC. Today I am delighted to be here to talk to you about the decentralized storage system in the blockchain. Before we get started, am I audible?
Yes. Can you please point?
Before we get started, hello. Before we get started, I would like to narrate one little story. In 1903, anyone know who invented the aeroplane?
Wright brothers.
So Wright brothers invented the aeroplane. It was hard to imagine then that today, because there would be around 5 lakh people traveling in the air and at any point in the time. So in 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto invented blockchain and the Bitcoin. For the first time in the history, it is possible to send money around the globe without any governments, banks or any other intermediaries. Satoshi is also a mystery character just like the Wright brothers. The concept of the blockchain is very intuitive, but some people believe it's a game changer. So what would you like? It will be game changer or what? What are your assumptions? Any creative?
Not going to change the world, is what I think.
How?
Because recently Donald Trump tweeted that he is not considered as a Bitcoin as a real currency. So
But yeah, blockchain, Bitcoin is also only not a blockchain.
yeah, but it's a part of a blockchain. Because if you can't tokenize to a person, then they don't want to.
Okay, maybe. So, the blockchain is it the aeroplane of our time. Can you agree? So guys, let you go through about the today's topics. First, we will see what is the introduction of the blockchain, how it is works, and why would we need this technology. Then we will move towards the centralized and decentralized storage system and the other storage platforms like Sia Coin, Gaia, IPFS or any other. How many people are here that first time hearing that it is a blockchain? Everyone heard? You are smart. How many of you have ever casted a vote? Everyone? No. So if you are casting a vote, how do you sure that the person or the purpose you was casted the vote, it may be the guides to that vote? Because there are many re-election and recounting it also happen. Because recounting and re-election won't be sufficient because it will be tempered. Database will be tempered. So for next, I would like to see some use cases of the blockchain technology. So this is the best example of the technology is the best solution for the voting system. Any other use cases? Yeah, tell me.
For healthcare, like some of the companies are using blockchain for healthcare as well.
Yeah, good. Next.
Banking.
Yeah, that's also good.
Banking.
For what?
Crops,
How?
farming,
Okay, like the supply chain.
yeah, supply chain.
Okay.
E-commerce.
Yeah, it is also distributed later, but I am asking what are the use cases?
E-commerce.
E-commerce, right? Finance. First would be the finance.
Land related issues like in India happening that
Real estate.
Yeah, real estate.
Okay.
Telecom.
Yeah, telecom also we can consider. Any others?
Goods delivery from point A to
Yeah.
point B.
Yeah, it's a supply chain, right? So What is a blockchain? Yeah, tell me.
Okay, so what I learned that blockchain is it's like a cube. It has a hash file, the sender file, and the next address file. Like you can say WList, link list. You can type of.
Okay, Bitcoin is a blockchain.
It is a part of blockchain.
Yeah, that's correct. Bitcoin is the technology behind the blockchain is the technology behind the Bitcoin. Now I would like to share what is not blockchain. If I want to ask a question and they are not the blockchain developers or they are not aware of the blockchain, they first they are telling Bitcoin is a blockchain, but that's not the correct. Any other assumptions? Cryptocurrency is a blockchain?
No.
It is also not a blockchain. Blockchain is not a programming language. It is also a node product. Then what is a blockchain? Can anyone tell me the detailed definition or use cases?
There is a term used ledger, right?
Yeah, later. It is one part.
So basically, like you can use blockchain as a distributed database where like things can't be rolled away.
Yeah.
So
The data is not only stored in that one
transaction is
document.
done, like it will store in the history of the transaction.
We can't change that
Yeah,
data.
then you can operate other things on that particular transaction, but you can't roll back those things. So
Okay.
that way, like in banking or other like finance industry, is like very using like Japan, like they are mostly now blockchain based.
Yeah. Japan and China both. So what is a blockchain? In simple terms, I can say blockchain is the chain of blocks which contains the information. Depends on the which blockchain it is. Can we take example of Bitcoin? Bitcoin blockchain, then it will store the information of the receiver, sender, and the transaction of that Bitcoin. Blockchain, it is also shared ledger. Ledger means nothing, but it is the one type of the record. It is also immutable database. So immutable database, it means that the database we can't modify if once it's created. It is a secure technology and it is also verifying and transferring data. So for detailed understanding, I would like to see one video.
Blockchain is a ledger of transaction records. These can be anything from stock trades to medical records to a history of who owned a used car. Blockchain is made up of blocks. A block contains all the transaction records for a set period of time. Bitcoin, for example, adds a new block every 10 minutes. Each new block contains two important things: a list of every single transaction that took place around the world in that period of time, plus a code, called a hash, that references the blocks that came before it, thus the chain part of the blockchain. These hashes are much easier to compare rather than trying to keep track of every individual transaction in the world since the beginning of time. And because each one references the blocks that came before it, it revalidates every single transaction repeatedly down to the original Genesis block. A blockchain is decentralized, meaning no one entity controls what's in it. In Bitcoin, the blockchain is validated by miners, who are rewarded for generating the correct hash with new Bitcoins. In other blockchain systems, this job might be split up between multiple banks, governments, or hospitals. When a new block is added to the chain, those computers verify that all the transactions actually took place. If anyone tries to cheat the system, their block will be different from anyone else's. Because a blockchain requires consensus between all parties, the cheater's version of the blockchain, called a fork, is eventually thrown out, along with their phony transaction. All of this makes a blockchain immutable, meaning it is extremely difficult to modify or tamper with. It is a single, permanent record agreed upon by multiple parties, none of which have more power than the other. It doesn't require trust in a single institution, nor do we need worry about bad guys hacking in and changing things, so long as they're outnumbered by the good guys. This means a blockchain can be accessible to the public. Anyone can go back in the ledger and verify that a transaction took place. The most famous example of blockchain is Bitcoin, which uses blockchain technology to prevent people from spending the same Bitcoin twice. But it has dozens of other applications beyond currency, including storing medical records, voting, writing smart contracts, storing files, trading stocks and bonds, keeping track of who owns what, and much, much more.
So everyone understand what is the blockchain now?
Yes.
So I have one question. When Bitcoin was first bought, for what purpose? Anyone know? What is the purpose behind the first Bitcoin bought?
It was a reward actually for mathematical calculations.
For?
Mathematical calculations.
No. It's an interesting fact.
Finance.
No. First Bitcoin.
Actually,
Yeah.
it was used for rewarding for open source software development in 2008.
Yeah, that's correct. But I am asking when the Bitcoin was bought, for what the purpose? So investor took the one Bitcoin and the first Bitcoin which has the spent for what purpose? For investing or any other? Yeah, tell me.
Some illegal activities like buying weapons or
No.
To buy a visa.
Yeah, that's the correct. Good, great. Sounds not good.
10,000 Bitcoin.
It's a $41 something. The first Bitcoin was. So now I will move towards the decentralized data. First, what is the data?
From the record history, transaction history.
Yeah, you can consider a transaction history. So everyone using WhatsApp, right? So how the traditional application works? Here you can see in the figure, there are the two fictional characters, Alice and Bob, and they are interacting with the storage providers. So Alice and Bob, Alice want to send a message to Bob. Then what is the path? What is the flow? Direct Alice can send a message to Bob.
No. It should be transmitted through storage.
Any answers?
First messages are stored in the server database and then from there fetch.
From there,
Fetch to the another user.
yeah, it's delivered to the Bob. Also, Alice will send a message to the storage provider. The storage provider may be the Amazon or any other service provider, and then the storage provider delivers that data to the Bob. So there is no direct path between them. So you can see how communication occur between these two users. Alice want to send a message to Bob. So first the path is Alice to storage providers and then the Bob. So whenever in any application user logs in, then the data will be going into the storage providers and then it displays to the user. So what are the problems in the centralized storage? Yeah, any other question, answers?
It is centralized, so the data gets lost if the communication can be stopped if that particular device or the centralized device gets disrupted.
Yeah, it is a single point of failure. And the other disadvantages are that the user cannot control who sees that data. So if you are using the Amazon Web Service or anything, so they can also see your data. So that is the problem in the centralized storage. User also cannot choose different storage providers. And they are also not migrating from one storage provider to the other. And the read writes are also not strictly associated with the user identity. So for overcome this problem, decentralized comes into the picture. From this image, how many understand what is the decentralized and decentralized here?
Decentralized is good distributed. Distributed among all the people.
No one?
He is speaking on everybody's behalf.
It is like nearly
Okay. So, what is the centralized and the decentralized storage system? First, whenever it's come to the data, what are the options we have? For data storage,
Centralized is somewhere server single, where distributed is PC itself.
yeah, if I'm talking about any type of data storage, so what are the you are using? Like hard disk,
Yeah.
S3, hard disk physical media,
USB.
yeah, anything. So, in centralized storage system, it is a central server and it is hosted by that, and the other application can communicate with that. If any server down, then it is the single point of failure. So overcome this, the decentralized storage system, there are multiple servers are there. Also, there is no single point of failure. Can you tell me the example of the decentralized storage?
DTube, same platform like a YouTube, decentralized.
Torrent.
Yeah,
Google also different.
Google is decentralized. How?
It is a server distributed in many countries, not only one place.
No. Servers are many in many countries and many locations, but it is centralized. It has a centralized authority. What is the decentralized storage? Anyone can tell me what is the decentralized storage here?
It is distributed among various nodes.
What?
It is not accessed by only one person. It is distributed in many other devices. Like
Yeah.
in Bitcoin, it is the transaction history is divided into many other computers, so anyone can not change. If anyone will alter the data, then it will change the hash code. So in between, he has to change all the afterwards the hash code. If he has to want
So
to.
it is encrypted. Okay, thank you. Decentralized storage is nothing but the files are stored in the multiple computers. It is called as the node. In Bitcoin language, in blockchain language, computers are also called as the node. And decentralized storage automatically encrypted all the data, and the key is already with you, so you can only access. So these are the feature platforms for decentralized storage. There are many decentralized storage platforms exist in the market, but they are many of them are it is in developing mode. So first, I want to talk to about it is the Storj. Storj, it is an open source distributed and decentralized file storage solution with the goal that it has to be cloud file storage, faster, cheaper, and private. It is also for encrypted and decrypted. The next one is the Sia coin. You maybe heard you name the Sia coin. Anyone? First time you are seeing these are the platforms. So it is new for you, right?
Yes.
Also, Sia coin, it is basically also decentralized storage platform, but if you have a spare hard disk, then you can rent out it. So and you can earn the money. So Sia coin is also called as the Airbnb of the hard drives. The next is the Filecoin. Filecoin, it is also decentralized file storage solution that lets you leverage large amounts of data around the unused data around the world. It is also implemented by the IPFS, and IPFS, it is the interplanetary file system. We will see next. Then the Blockstack Gaia. Also, Gaia is a more user-oriented decentralized platform, and the last one is the IPFS. Though for IPFS, it is also called as the Web of Tomorrow needs IPFS today. So I will explain you later. First I will see Blockstack Gaia. Does anyone know what is the decentralized storage in Blockstack, and anyone worked with the Blockstack?
Yes, but I worked on the Blockstack App Store module.
Okay. So what is a Blockstack?
Blockstack is a wholesome internet. I guess it's called Internet 3.0. They have their own naming system. They have their own app stores, and they have their own storage. So
It is also decentralized, right?
Yeah, it's decentralized.
Okay. So Gaia is a user-owned storage. So this feature is only included in this Blockstack services, because in the centralized storage there is no option that user can store the data whenever they want to do. A decentralized high-performance storage system built on the top of the driver model. What is meant by driver here? Driver is any service provider like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, or anything you can take. For Gaia, there are many drivers supported here: Dropbox, Azure, and the S3 bucket. How Blockstack solves the centralized storage issue? So can anyone tell me how Blockstack solves the centralized storage issue? What is the feature they included in the centralized storage system? Any feature? Everyone is sleeping?
No.
So Blockstack solves the centralized issue by give the authority of the user. They can store the data anywhere they want to do. So now I will tell you what is the exact working of the Gaia. How Blockstack application stores data and how user own his data. First, everyone know what is the difference between DApp and app. What is meant by DApp? It is a decentralized apps. Last, are you awake?
Something that is, let's say that an app is deployed on something, like something using AWS, other platform, other services are using Google Cloud, so that becomes a decentralized. Multiple companies use my database, like I have a services but they are distributed. So there are different ownerships, so maybe that is something that is decentralized apps.
Yeah, it's a little bit good. So, Allies and Bob are there. Allies want to share their data to the Bob. Then how it is possible? So for Allies and Bob, Allies has a storage of the Microsoft Azure and Bob has in the Gaia Hub. It is a AWS S3. So both have to read and write path for it is possible with the key only, the public and the private key. This is also the same. How does blockchain application interact with the Gaia storage? IPFS. It is stands for the Interplanetary File System. It is a protocol started by the protocol labs, and it is very much like the Git. Everyone is using Git, right?
Yes.
In IPFS, it is the concept of the content addressing, and the current internet is working on the location-based addressing. The difference between Gaia and IPFS is that only Gaia user own the data and control it, while the IPFS has the own network and where your data is placed on the different people's device. So these are the marketings of the decentralized methods, like data security. Whenever it comes to data, first parameter is the data security and the data privacy. Then system speed, cost and integration. So blockchain is like a very early stage, but it is like the 1990s of the internet. So it is big as you can. So thank you. Anyone have a question?